What's the story on Barracuda?
Well, Barracuda was just a moment. It was a flash of anger, of realization of what we had gotten ourselves into. It happened one night after a show. Some really sleazy guy came up to me and implied to me that he was really turned on by the fact that me and Nance were lesbian incestual lovers. And that just really got him going.
In his fantasy, that was.
In his fantasy, yeah. So that made me so mad because I love my sister. And suddenly my mother's face, you know, came right up saying like, don't get into show business. It's so tacky. It's so, you know, full of sleazy people that are going to misunderstand you. And I went, oh, you're so right. And it made me really angry. I think especially because I felt that they had attacked her honor, and both our honors.
Both, yeah.
So I went and wrote the words to Barracuda, and just, I think if I would have had a gun, I might have reacted differently to the guy, but thank goodness I didn't.
All I want to do is make love to you.
That's a song that, All I Want to Do is a song that was written by a really famous producer, writer, songwriter, Mutt Lange, who went on to do country music. And you could hear in that song the formulaic thing that was going to become country music that he was up to already at the time. For us, it just has a great hook, it has a great sound. But for Anne, not her favorite song to sing.
Once again,
about the lyrics.
The problematic lead singer has to be authentic, has to believe in the words she's singing.
Even though we changed the gender of the song around, which became then so, you know, shocking that they banned it in Ireland because it was a song then about a girl, a wanton lassie, who picks up a guy.
Picks up a hitchhiker.
A hitchhiker.
A hitchhiker guy.
I see what you mean. You changed it around.
Late at
There's
night.
a woman who said, all I want to do is to make love to you.
Yeah, like, you're a hitchhiker. I don't know you, so let's get in the car and exchange fluids and now get out. I mean, that's hideous.
Well, I was going to ask you why you hate it.
I guess that's why.
But, again, it was enormously successful.
They want to hear that song. Even today, we go to New Zealand or Australia, they're like, oh, please, please do that song. They love that song.
It's an interesting thing about songs like that, though, because unless you're Ann Wilson and you have to stand there and deliver this message that's in the words, you know, which I totally understand why you don't want to do, but most people, when they hear something that they love, they're not thinking into all the corners of the song.
That's right.
They're just feeling good and listening to it.
So let's start from ground zero. First of all, as a performing group, who are you?
Well, I think we're a really unlikely set of, you know, circumstances that makes this band Heart what it is. I think we're kind of a rare animal in rock and roll because there's two women, for one thing, two sisters at the center, and so there's an emotional breadth, which is not just surface pop kind of cultural stuff. There's a lot of depth in the songs that we choose to do and write, and you know, we want to do. So there's something really weird about us. You know, we just don't really fit the bill.
Well, I don't know whether
Maybe
I'd call
that's a
it
good
weird.
thing.
What do
It's
you
a good
think?
thing.
Ann?
Well, we bring a lot of the anima of Heart out of our family. It just comes straight from our parents and our grandparents and their generation who sat around with ukuleles after World War II. That's where we first heard music, you know, being sung. So that's really right at the core of why we care so much about our band being authentic. To go out there and be posers or become a cartoon would almost be to laugh in the face of our parents.
Well, tell me about those days when the parents and grandparents were playing the ukuleles.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Well, our father was a Marine officer, and so we grew up on all the different military bases: Quantico, Camp Lejeune, Camp Pendleton, Panama, Taiwan. You know, everywhere where the forces were in the 50s and 60s, and we were on military bases with other Marine families and their children, and so the adults would all get together, and what they liked to do would be to have cocktail parties and sing. Their generation wouldn't just turn on the radio, they would actually sing together, and they'd sing old English pub songs and kind of off-color songs. You know, it was fun stuff for all the kids who'd been put to bed, right?
Yeah.
But who really were upstairs at the top of the stairs listening.
Yeah,
With big
eavesdropping.
ears.
There was a song that they sang when they had had a lot of cocktails that we heard over and over. It was like, my eyes are dim, I cannot see. I have not brought my specs. And then long time goes by, they're walking around talking for a really long time. And everyone's waiting for the shoe to drop. And finally, it's like, with me.
Yeah.
And they would do this like religiously at these parties, and it was
Yeah.
just hysterical. The kind of unity that I think coming out of the World War, situation
Yeah.
and unity that they had.
My own experience, which is limited, with military families such as your own, which is to say where you have a career military person in the family, is that children in military families, either they become the proverbial wild child or move back into a shell and have difficulty relating socially. Now, it sounds like that you didn't have either one of those problems. So my question is, how did you avoid that?
Yeah, good question. I think without music, without each other in this very aimed project or, lifestyle of doing art, we probably would have gone to one of those stereotypes.
You would have been the interior,
Yeah.
and I would have been the wild child.
Yeah. But instead, we found that music was not only satisfying to us, but it had outreach. At first, when we first started doing it, you could do a song like, say, For What It's Worth, and it had meaning in the culture, and you could sing it, and you sort of helped people's minds clear. So there's almost a missionary zeal about
Yeah.
doing music in the beginning.